All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to do today, let me make sure you can see my screen. Can everyone still see my screen?
Loading. Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. So what we're going to do today is focusing on, so it says, I can read and analyze paragraph 69 of Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from Birmingham jail. So we are focusing, last week, we focused on paragraph 1 through 5, right? We did 1 through 5 last week. This week, we're going to focus on 6 through 9, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Go to the next one. Why are you not going to the next one? Really? Okay. So, computer's being... All right. So, this is going to be new vocabulary that I need you guys to know, because we are going to be now looking at his arguments, okay? But what is an argument? An argument is not people just, yelling at each other. An argument is the composition of precise claims about a topic, including relevant and sufficient evidence and valid reasoning. What does this mean in plain English? It means this. So, a true argument is the combination of what you believe, right, which is your claim,
with the proof.
And then, oh, I can use a pointer. Oh, this is nice. Oh, this is bougie. So, an argument is the combination of your claim, which is your belief, what you believe about the situation, and evidence. Okay? So, an argument is a combination of your claim, which is what you think, and evidence. Not just any evidence, but sufficient. Sufficient means enough evidence, okay? That is what an argument is. Think of it like a debate. So the next part of an argument, so the different parts of an argument, right? We have, first of all, the claim, which is an author's or speaker's main point about an issue in an argument. So the claim is the main point. What is the main thing that this person is saying? That is your claim. The next thing is a supporting claim. So a supporting claim is kind of like smaller points that the person makes to back up that main claim. You have a big idea, which is that claim, right? And sometimes you can have little smaller claims, which is like other points that they use to relate to that big idea. You don't see this a lot of times, so don't worry too much about it. Your evidence. Okay, this is just like when I told you, you always need to, like when you go into a courtroom, right? You don't just go and say that Manuel killed Van without evidence, okay? You need evidence to prove that somebody is guilty or innocent. So your evidence are the different facts, right? So the facts, So the facts, the events, and ideas from which the claims of an argument arise and which are cited to support these claims. Plain English, your evidence is what you use to back up what you say. So here's what you need to remember. Your claim. What are the different parts of an argument? The claim, which is the main point, and the evidence, which is what you use to back it up, okay? Now, the reasoning is basically kind of, what is the logic behind it? Does it make sense? Does it not make sense? Okay, that's why it says the logical relationship among ideas. Does this make sense? If I'm talking about Manuel, do I need to give evidence about Van? No, it doesn't make sense, right? The reasoning is not right there. So the reasoning is just, does this make sense? Does it not make sense? All right. So main things about an argument you need to remember. Number one, the claim, which is the main point. Number two, your evidence, which is what you use to back it up. Okay. That's what you need to remember. That's the major thing. So this is a chart that gives us the different parts of an argument. You have your main point, kind of the big idea, right? And then you have other supporting claims. So think about it this way. Let's say McDonald's, right? McDonald's is your main point. Okay, we know that McDonald's is what? A restaurant. That's a supporting claim. McDonald's is a restaurant. Okay. What else is McDonald's? What else can we say about McDonald's?
They sell burgers. They sell hamburgers.
They sell hamburgers. That's another one. What else can we say about McDonald's? Van, what about you? What else can we say about McDonald's?
McDonald's is a food that some mix together for a food.
So yes, it's different kinds of foods, but we already said that it's a restaurant, and we said that they make hamburgers. What's another thing that McDonald's is? What kind of food is it?
Fast food.
So it's fast food, right? So those are your supporting claims, okay? McDonald's is your big idea. A supporting claim is it's a restaurant, they make hamburgers, it is fast food. All these things at the bottom is called your evidence. So what is a piece of evidence to support that it's a restaurant? Well, it sells food, right? It acts like a restaurant.
Right. Yeah.
Or what is evidence to support that they make hamburgers? You have hamburger ingredients in McDonald's. Or what is the evidence to support that it's fast food? It doesn't take time to make the food, right? So that is an example of an argument, okay? So now let's go into the reading of paragraph 6. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Manuel, can you see this?
Yep.
Okay. So it says, in any non-violent, before we continue, does anyone have questions about parts of an argument? It might seem weird now, but trust me, when we start working with it a lot, you will understand it much better. Anyone have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Paragraph 6. In any non-violent campaign, there are 4 basic steps. Collection of the facts to determine whether injustices exist. Negotiation, that's 2. Self-purification, that's 3. And direct action. So basically, there are 4 parts when it comes to a campaign, a protest, a non-violent, peaceful protest. Okay? Number 1 is to figure out, it says determine whether, so collection of the facts to determine whether injustices exist. That is where you have to gather facts, right? And you have to ask, is there something wrong? That is the first step. You're collecting facts to figure out if there is something wrong. That's step 1. Step 2, negotiation. So if there is something wrong, well, can we work together to solve it? First of all, right? What can we do together to try to figure it out? Okay, that's negotiation. Then self-purification. So now you have to look within yourself, right? To kind of figure out, okay, if I'm going to stand for something like this, right? Why am I doing this? Is this the right thing? Is it not the right thing? Do we need to be doing this? Do we not need to be doing this? That is the third step. And the fourth step is direct action. Okay, now we need to do something about this, right? We need to do something about this. And even part of this self-purification, right? So, hey, I did something wrong. We did something wrong here. Let's seek forgiveness. Let's be better people. And then let's act to change it. That's a direct action. What are we going to do to change this bad thing that we have done? Those are the 4 steps. Okay, so collecting the facts to figure out, is there something wrong here? Do these injustices exist? Next step, negotiation. How can we talk together to solve the problem? Let's think together. Self-purification. Why are we doing this? What is happening? Do I need to change? This is what I've done wrong. Let's be better. And direct action. Let's act so that we make sure that this bad thing does not happen again. These are the 4 steps to a non-violent protest. Do we understand these 4 steps, or do I need to repeat it again?
We good.
Okay, and someone is just joining us. Is that Delania?
Delania.
Hi, Delania.
Hi.
Hi. So we are talking about, so last week we analyzed paragraph 1 through 5, and this week we're focusing on 6 through 9, okay? Okay, so we just started reading paragraph 6 now, okay? So, to continue, so we have gone through all these steps in Birmingham. There can be no gainsaying the fact that racial injustice engulfs this community. Birmingham is probably the most thoroughly segregated in the United States. So if we go back to the top, right? So first he explains that there are 4 steps. Then he says, well, we've done all of these steps in Birmingham already. And then he's saying that there can be no gainsaying, meaning that there's nothing to gain in the fact that racial injustice engulfs. Looking at this word engulfs, I want you to think of, this is very violent, especially the fact that I don't like snakes, but think of a snake kind of like, so if you put a rat, right, into like a cage with a snake, what happens? What happens, guys?
You say if you put a rag inside of a box of snakes?
Yeah, if you put a rat inside, like, a cage with a snake in it, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
They're gonna attack the rag.
Yep, they're going to attack the rat, but what's going to happen to the rat? The snake is going to do what to the rat?
To trap it, to put involvement, to get involved in that.
They're going to trap it?
Yeah.
What do snakes eat?
All the animals, little animals.
Well, yes, little animals. For example, what?
Rats. They're gonna eat it.
So exactly. So, and when that happens, it's kind of like very sudden, right? So, and when the snake eats the rat, do you see any remains of the rat? You don't. Okay. It's very annoying. I almost had a heart attack when one of my colleagues kind of convinced me to watch a snake eat. I was like, you must be crazy. But like, it scared the heck out of me. So to engulf something, it's kind of like, that eating that rat. Engulf something kind of means to surround it. You take over every single thing of it. So the snake is like Birmingham, okay? And the rat, no, actually, the rat is Birmingham, and the snake is injustice, okay? The rat is Birmingham, and the snake is injustice. And what Dr. King is trying to say is that the snake engulfs this community, right? That means that injustice surrounds this community. It's all over in the community, okay? That's why he said that Birmingham is probably the most thoroughly segregated city in the United States. Its ugly record of brutality is widely known. Negroes have experienced grossly unjust treatment in the courts. There have been more unsolved bombings of Negro homes and churches in Birmingham than in any other city in the nation. These are the brutal facts of the case. On the basis of these conditions, Negro leaders sought to negotiate with the city fathers, but the latter consistently refused to engage in good faith negotiation. So, now that we have read that, see if now that we have read that, sorry guys. We'll go back. Okay. So now that we have read that, we are going to answer some questions about this. All right, so I'm going to give you some time for you to look at these questions. And I know we don't have a lot of people today, so I'm going to assign one of you one question, okay? And then we will talk about the other questions together, all right? As your participation for today. The first question says, what are the 4 basic steps of any nonviolent campaign? So what were the 4 steps of every nonviolent campaign? Okay, actually, so let's do, Manuel, you take that question, okay?
What are the 4 basic steps of any nonviolent campaign?
Yep, what are the 4 basic steps of any nonviolent campaign? And get ready to explain. Not just reading it from the text, but get ready to explain what each one means, okay?
I got to explain too.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Okay, so that's your question, but I will give you time to think about it, okay? So that you can, I will go back to, after I finish reading these questions, I'm gonna have the paragraph 6 on the board for you, okay? On the screen for you. All right, so remember your question. What are the 4 basic steps, okay?
Okay.
The next question, it says, which of the 4 basic steps has the campaign in Birmingham completed? Mr. Van?
Okay,
Mr. Van, you are going to do question number 2. Don't answer it now. I am going to give you time to think about it. So which of the 4 steps have they done in Birmingham? Okay. Okay, Mr. Van?
Yeah, number 2.
Yes, you are doing number 2. Which of the 4 steps have they done in Birmingham?
Number
okay.
1. Number 1.
Mr. Van, you're not answering now. You're not answering.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I will give you time to think about it, and then we'll answer. Okay. Number 3. What claims does King make about the city and community of Birmingham? So what are the main points that he makes about the city of Birmingham and about the people in it? Delania? 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 Oh, where'd she go? Okay, so Delania, oh wait, let's wait for her. Delania? Okay, so Delania, you will take number 3. It says, what claims does King make about the city and community of Birmingham. Okay, so what claims, what main points does he make about the city and community of Birmingham? All right, I'm going to take it back to the paragraph. Okay, I will give you guys about 5 minutes to think about the answers to your questions. Remember, Manuel, you have question 1. Mr. Van, you have question 2. And Delania, you have question 3. Take these questions and copy them. These questions here, just in case you forget. Put those questions there. And trying to make this bigger for you guys. I'm sorry, I'm going through some. Okay, so Zoom. I'm sorry, my computer apparently is behaving quite slow right now. Oh, that's too much. And I'm trying to understand why. So, okay, do you guys remember your questions so that I can bring up the paragraph again?
Yes.
Okay, so let me bring up the paragraphs then. So easier to see. Can you guys see it? Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
So 5 minutes. Okay. Starting now. Think about your answers. Want me to play some music? I'm gonna play some background music. If you guys feel like you're done and you don't need the 5 minutes, just give me a thumbs up and we can start, okay? Mr. Van, since I can't see you, if you know that you're done, just tell me, teacher, I'm done. Or Miss Chi, I'm done.
I'm done, Michi.
Oh, you're done? You're done, Manuel? Van,
Done. I'm
you're
done.
done? Okay. Delania, do you need more time?
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. You have about 2 minutes. Trying to play music for everyone.
What's the question?
Oh, okay. Who just joined in? Is that Iris?
Yes.
Okay, we just excuse me.
I'm reading the paragraph, but I don't know what the question is.
Yes, we've already sectioned out the questions. So you can take the next set of questions. So right now I've already assigned one question to each of them. So they're just trying to figure out the answers to their questions. And then we'll look at the other questions too. So we're looking at the first 3. Yeah, so they're just thinking about the answers to their questions now. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, I'm ready.
Delana, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so let's take it back. make this the full screen, but not helping me. See if I do this, if it works.
You know the stove's on, right?
Is this better, guys?
I'm busy.
You know it's
Yeah, I
on.
know.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding.
All right. So I'm going to mute certain people just so that there's no kind of like background noise. And then when it's your turn, I'll unmute you, okay? No, Manuel, you're going first, so go ahead.
Okay. Do you want to repeat the question too, or just the
Oh,
answer?
you're fine. You don't. You just tell us the answer. So you had question 1. What are the four basic steps of any nonviolent campaign?
Okay, the 4 basic steps. First one is collection of the facts to determine whatever injustice exists. That means try to get all the facts to see if something is wrong, if something is happening bad in that situation. And the second one is negotiation, is the part when you try to work together with the other part to fix the problem. Try to see if together we can get a solution for everything, what is happening wrong. And the number 3 is self-purification. That means when you get to see your part, to see what are you doing bad, what are you doing wrong, if you have something wrong, what you need to fix it to. And direct action is when you go directly to the problem. When you go
Say that again.
when you go directly to the problem. So directly to attack the problem. What can I say? If you go one time to fix it, that's what I got to say.
Okay, thank you. Good job. Remember, for direct action, right? Remember, it's action. What you need to do to fix the problem, right? So like you said, directly acting to fix the problem, right? Directly taking steps to fix
Okay.
the problem, right? All right, thank you so much, Manuel.
You're welcome.
All right, next person, Mr. Where's Mr. Van? Next person, Mr. Van, go ahead.
Okay. There are 4 steps, and number 1, finish. They figure out whether the injustice. Then number 2, negotiation, but the leader of the city deny. And self-purification. So they are thinking about themselves, and it's good or bad to do the next step. And the one reason is remaining that active action, that is that demonstration. So it's remaining.
So when you say the demonstration is remaining, if that's the case, why would Dr. King say we have gone through all these steps in Birmingham?
They already have the demonstration.
So if you remember the last thing that we read, right? So in that first paragraph, Dr. King, this whole letter is because some people talked about the demonstration that they were doing, right? Because some people had bad words, had negative thoughts to say about the demonstration that they were doing, okay?
Yeah.
So that's why, we can say that, yes, they have, demonstrated, they've gone through these different steps, in
So
Birmingham.
they all finished the 4 steps.
Yep, that's why he said there in the text that they have all gone through all these steps, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All these steps
Are done.
are done.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Van. I'm going to go ahead and mute you so that we can hear Delania. All right, Delania, go ahead. Number 3, it said, what claims does King make about the city and community of Birmingham? So what does he say about that place?
He said that Birmingham is the most segregated city in the United States. And that they have all those justice in the courthouse. For the Negro is means, how can I say? Like it's so segregated and the courthouse practically a jail. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was wondering if that came from my laptop.
No, it's my fault. So
Okay.
they left like the Negro community without help or any kind of help. Even if they go to the courthouse, it's just wasting the time because they won't be listened. They can be killed, lynched, and that's what happened. The people who do that to them because they're black. So the segregation was so big from the city where the people was practically blind. And they just don't even care.
Yep. Exactly. Right. Exactly. You're completely correct. Right. Negroes being treated badly, and unfairly, and nothing will happen to them. Right. There's no consequence for them. And, just like you said, it was the most, segregated city, just like he said there in the text. Right. Okay. Thank you, Delania. All right. I'm going to unmute everyone now because we're going to talk about all these other questions. Okay. All right. So Iris, did you understand a little bit from just what we have said from these questions?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So let's look at the other questions now. So the other question says, let me make it bigger. Sorry, guys, my computer is working much slower today. All right, so the other question says, what evidence does King cite to support these claims in paragraph 6? So Delania mentioned the fact that, first of all, it was the most segregated city in Birmingham, right? That Birmingham was the most segregated city. And they also mentioned the fact that Negroes were treated badly without anything really happening to those people that did those bad acts, okay? So definitely we have to figure out, well, what evidence supports that? Yeah, so that's paragraph 6. Questions 5, 6, and 7 we will get when we read the other paragraphs, okay? So let's talk about question number 4. What evidence does Dr. King have to support the fact that Negroes were treated badly and unfairly and nothing will happen to those people? What's some of the evidence to support that? Look at the text. Anybody can jump in here. Remember, this is your participation.
Me?
I said anyone can jump in. And Iris, this will be, if you can jump in, that would be great. So we talked about how Negroes were treated badly and unfairly and nothing will happen. Are there any examples in there that show us that they were treated badly? And Mr. Van, I want to let Iris maybe try it first to give us one example, and then the rest of us can talk so that she can get her participation point today.
We are talking about paragraph 6, right? That's where you want me to
Yeah.
see.
Paragraph 6. Yeah, that's what we have on screen.
Um, reading through the paragraph, he's stating that there had been bombing, you know, on the Negro homes and the churches, buses, and then that has been happening more in Birmingham than any other city in the nation.
Yeah.
So he's putting those examples of, you know, so people can see what's really going on in this city with the Negro community. So bombing is one of the examples.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely, that's one of the examples, right?
So how
Yeah.
that's how he's supporting his what he's saying. I mean,
Yep.
they're facts.
Yep. That's the evidence, right, to support that claim that Delania said, you know, that they are treated badly and unfairly with nothing happening to those people, no consequences, right? Okay, everybody else, feel free to jump in. What else is another example?
It's ugly record police brutally.
What'd you say, hon?
It's ugly record of the police, man, for the people. Ugly record of police brutality.
Police brutality? Does it say that in the text?
Yeah.
You read the sentence where it says that in the text?
Yeah, the 4, 1, 2, 3, the fourth sentence. It's ugly record of police brutality is known in every section of the country. See that?
Am I
You
just
see that?
am I not seeing? What?
Recorded in United Birmingham is the most thoroughly segregated city in the United States. In ugly
Oh,
record.
I see. Yeah, I see the sentence, but police is not there.
Yeah.
So you probably just thought when you saw brutality that it was police. It's not just, you know, it doesn't say police in there. The police maybe could be included, but
He's thinking in general.
yep, he's talking about in general, there's a lot of brutality, right? So there's a lot
In
of
my
force.
in my notes, there's a police.
In your notes.
Yeah. It's ugly record of police brutality. Ugly record of
Are you
police.
saying in the document that I uploaded that it's there and not the one that you're looking at on the screen?
Do you look at the text again?
So are
It's not there.
you looking at the text or the one that I have on the screen? I'm gonna pull up the text right now.
Text 6. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing, Mr. See, right, what it says right here?
Yeah. It's ugly record
of brutality.
Record of brutality.
There's no police
in my
there.
note, there's a police.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So those are your notes. So maybe in your notes, you put the police in there, because a lot of times when people hear the word brutality, they think, oh, police brutality. But just like what Manuel is saying, what he's saying here is in general. So there's brutality in general, okay? Whether by police, whether by people, it's in general, okay? That's what it says here with the text. We need to be very careful to make sure that we go with what the text is saying. When we're trying to quote evidence, we need to go with what the text is saying, right? Because you can't go into the courtroom and then say that, you know, if you're trying to defend Delania from killing Manuel, you can't say, well, you know, Iris said that Delania was sleeping in her house, when Iris actually said that Delania was in her house, not that Delania was sleeping in her house, right? So we need to just be very specific with the evidence, okay? And it's okay. Like I said, a lot of times people think, you know, when you hear that brutality, that it's police brutality. But okay, Delania, you've been so quiet today. Are you okay? You're not feeling well?
Yeah.
I can say something.
It's okay. Yeah, just it's okay, Delania. I understand if you're not feeling too okay or just I get it. Somebody else can go ahead and jump in. It's okay.
Me.
You can just like
Okay, they say something about Negros was receiving like unjust treatment in the courts. Like it went not fair when they go to the court, so everything was
Yeah.
putting exactly on one side.
Yeah, that's what even, prompted Delania to talk about, the fact that it was unfair. But let me go back to Mr. Van real quick. Mr. Van, are you okay with that? Do you understand what we were talking about with brutality?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So just like you said, Manuel, right? They're not treated well in the courts. So everything is just one-sided. So they're probably taking the side of just, this person, right? Okay. I want us to look at this last part. I'm going to read it to you, and that's going to help us answer the rest of the question. Okay. It says, these are the hard, brutal facts of the case. On the basis of these conditions, Negro leaders sought to negotiate with the city fathers, but the latter consistently, so the latter, meaning the city fathers, but the latter consistently refused to engage in good faith negotiation. So I want us now, I'm going to read that again. And it says, these are the hard, brutal facts of the case. On the basis of these conditions, Negro leaders sought to negotiate with the city fathers, but the latter consistently refused to engage in good faith negotiation. So let's go back to those questions again that we just saw. And I'm going to copy and paste them so that we can have it on one side, have it on the other side. We did question number 4 already. Why are you not copying and pasting? Okay. Like I said, again, my computer does not like me. I am so sorry, guys. So sorry.
Won't work.
It happens. It happens, y'all.
It does.
All right. So, okay. So the first question says, who are the city fathers? So let's think about it. Who do you think these city fathers are?
The city father are the people in charge. They're supposed to be the mediator, the one who run the country, the city, the one who is supposed to be in charge of the justice, and they equally right for everybody. They are the people in charge of running the city.
Exactly. Good inference. Good inference, right? For you to say something like that phrase, city father, but I'm curious, how did you know that, Delania? How did you know that that is what city fathers meant?
It just makes sense. When you're talking about the father, that means somebody in charge, the head. Like you have a house, you have a father, he's the one in charge. So when we're talking about the city fathers, is the people in charge of running the city.
Actually, with the bosses.
That's the governor, that's the church, that's the people in charge of making sure that everybody is equal treated. And the human rights is going to be preserved for everyone.
Manuel, you wanted to say something?
No, I just say when they say that about city fathers, they are talking about the bosses, the people who have the power inside of the city.
Yeah, both of you are incredibly correct, right? That was a very good inference because they didn't tell you who they were, but you were able to kind of use the clues really and just see that phrase. Like you guys said, right? When you use that phrase, think about it like Al Capone, right? Somebody like the Godfather, right? So those phrases tell you like these are the head honchos, right? Very good. The next question is, how did the African American leaders attempt to work with Birmingham's political leaders? So it's a two-part question. And then it says, how did the political leaders respond? So what kind of way did the African American leaders approach these city fathers of Birmingham? First part question. Anybody feel free to jump in. So how did the Negro leaders try? Yeah, go ahead, jump in.
Well, they tried to negotiate with the city father, with the people in charge, and try to find the way that they can have some kind of negotiation in a good faith, something that both party will win, and then we have a little bit of justice. So the city father are not interested because they don't really care about what happened to the Negro. By they didn't make any sense to them. So every time they tried to approach them, they was like, I'm gonna listen to you, but I'm not gonna do anything about it.
Exactly.
It says on the paragraph, it says negotiation and self-purification. What does that mean? Like, what are they were trying to do when it says self-purification and direct action?
Okay, Manuel, since you talked about the 4 stages of nonviolent campaigns, can you go and explain that to us again? So Iris, remember there are 4 stages in a nonviolent, and nonviolent means peaceful campaign when you're trying to solve something peaceful. And well, go ahead and explain those 4 stages to us again.
Okay. You say 4 stages is the same 4 basic steps, right?
Yeah.
The collection of the facts to determine whether injustice exists. The first one.
You're explaining all of them again so they can understand the process.
Okay. When they are talking about collection of the facts to determine whether injustice exists, is first you got to see where it's happening, or where is happening the bad things, or where is the thing wrong, or what is wrong there exactly. And after that, you got to go into the negotiation, try to solve that problem together with the other part. I mean, both of us. I mean, because for that you got to have the 2 sides, right? You trying to fix it, and the other side who is having the problem. So working together to try to get done the problem. And self-purification is the part when you see on your side what is wrong, why are you doing wrong, because or why that thing is happening. If it is something inside of your group who is getting a bad result, you got to see that. And the direct action means you got to already know what is the solution for that and go and act one time. So go directly one time to try to fix it, but with the solution in the hands. I mean, you can go and say, hey, I'm gonna take action on this, and you have no idea what you're gonna do. So you got to know first what is the solution, what you got to do for that, and after that you got to go directly and take an action on that. Try to solve it.
Iris, do you understand it a little bit more?
And yeah, just a little bit more.
Okay, like these are just steps that he's trying to explain, Manuel, thank you. These are just steps in which, any sort of protest, peaceful protest goes through, okay? And then negotiation part, like Manuel said, is like those 2 sides coming together to figure out, okay, so here's the problem. What can we do to solve it, right? They're trying to work together to fix it, okay? And that's self-purification.
The self-purification.
The self-purification.
They're trying to see what's going on. Go ahead.
No. Yeah, go. Trying to see what's going on where.
And
They were trying to see what's going on, like on their own, like, self-purification. They're talking about trying to see what's the problem with them before they're trying to do the negotiation and the direct actions. I mean, that's what they're saying about themselves, because it says self-purification. So I was trying to just, I don't understand if it's, they were talking about, the, you know, like he was talking about his own, like, you know, the Negro community.
Yep. So let's take it back a little bit. What you said, the idea isn't what you said, right? So, for example, there's that saying, and I used to hear this a lot. And it's like, if you can't love yourself, how you gonna love somebody else, right? So you, after really trying to work together to fix a problem, so you know there's a problem, you're working together to try and fix the problem. Now, before we can even act, you need to ask yourself, what are those things that I need to change? Am I part of the problem or the solution? And I need to change these attitudes about myself so that we can actually go out together and act to, you know, take these steps to fix the problem. That's that self-purification there, right? Because out of, you know, when you go through the first two steps, you're getting facts, you know, to figure out, is there something wrong, you know, here in this system? And you guys are trying to talk together on both sides, right? You're actually learning new things. Okay, when you go through that, you're learning new things. For example, guys, coronavirus, right? What we're going through right now with the coronavirus. At first, nobody really understood what it was. Okay, so you had people kind of coming together, you know, to try and figure out, well, we need to collect facts. What is happening all around the world, right? Now you have countries, even within America, you had Democrats, Republicans sitting down trying to figure out, how can we solve this problem? Even our leaders had to sit down and ask themselves, like, you know, from that, they were able to learn new things about the virus. And they had to sit down and be like, hey, I mean, we weren't doing so great before. I wasn't doing so great. I got to take this seriously, right? In order for them to move forward, in order for them to act, okay? But these are the things that happen in peaceful protests. Okay, so you were right. That self-purification is that time in which you look at yourself and see what part you are playing and what you need to fix personally. Okay. Is that better? Is that better, Iris?
Okay.
What'd you say, hon?
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. All right. So,
Yes.
okay, so we talked about question number 6. Delania told us that they tried to negotiate peacefully, right? So they tried to figure it out peacefully, but you know, the city fathers responded negatively. They didn't care. So how does, this is interesting. So it says, how does King use the description of the city fathers to support his claims about Birmingham? Let's go back on top to what we talked about with Birmingham. Remember, the claims are, it is the most segregated city in Birmingham, and Negroes are treated badly and unfairly, and nothing will happen. Well, this little detail he gave us about the city fathers, how does it support his claim, his belief about that city? Anybody feel free to jump in.
James?
So how does this description, this detail that he said with the city fathers and what they did and how they responded, how does that support what he thinks, what he said, what he claimed about Birmingham? Remember, Delania told us that number one, it's the most segregated city, okay, in the US. It's the most segregated city. And number two, that Negroes are treated badly and unfairly, and nothing will happen. So how does the way that the city fathers acted, how does that support that claim?
They refuse to engage on the good faith negotiation. They're not doing basically anything.
Okay, okay, and that supports what?
That supports what's going on, like, you know, what he's claiming, that the Negro community has been going through injustice, like they've been experiencing unjust treatment in courts. They had, you know, their houses had been bombing, and all those hard, brutal facts that he's talking about on this paragraph.
Yep,
Basically,
exactly.
the fathers are letting this happen. Like they're doing nothing. They're refusing to see it.
Yep, exactly. So do you, I want us really to understand. So remember, we're talking about arguments, right? And you're completely correct, Iris. Thank you so much for that. We're talking about arguments, and the different parts of arguments are, remember, you had your claim and you had your supporting. Sometimes you have supporting claims. You don't always have to have it, but you have your claims, right? What is the, you know, the major thing that's happening, the main points, and then what are the evidence to support that, right? So now, based off of everything that Dr. King is saying, do you think that this makes sense? Do you think that the way that he spoke about what's going on and the evidence that he uses makes sense? This is your opinion. What do you think about the way he explained it?
It does make sense because
Does make sense.
I think it does make sense because they already find all kind of channel to make those people in charge to see what is going on and to do something about it. So they know what is going on, they see what is going on, but they don't want to do anything about it. They feel comfortable like this because they are not the ones who getting affected. As the minority is the Negro. So it's not important for them. They don't want to do anything about it, and they don't want to have headache. So why to bother about the Negro? Keep treating them bad, not justice for them. Let's rape the women, the children, burn the house, burn the church. And when they come and claim that somebody did it, although they have the proof, nobody's gonna listen. Because you can't compare the Negro with a white person. If one person said the Negro did something, they're gonna go ahead and put in jail. Now the Negro said that white people did something today, they're gonna go to jail because they talk bad about the white people or the white person. So all those kind of justice was going on, and it was open. Everybody see, everybody keep it quiet. We had the Ku Klux Klan who cover the face at night, burn those houses. The police knew, nobody listened. Most of those people that was belong to the Ku Klux Klan, it was the same police or the church or the politics in Congress. So who got to listen when they are the
I'm sorry
ones
to-
what they do?
I'm sorry to interject, Delania. I appreciate your contribution, your passion. I did hear Iris wanting to jump in to kind of talk about this too as well. We're looking at Dr. King's argument. Does it make sense, the way that he stated his claim and his evidence? Does it make sense? Does it relate to what was going on? Go ahead. What'd you say, Iris? Sorry. Iris? You there? Iris?
I don't know if it's my internet or what, but you guys keep breaking down.
Oh, okay.
It's my internet or what, but you guys keep breaking down.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like you
But
guys were cutting
basically,
off.
yeah.
It might be my internet. I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. But what Delania was saying,
What
and
you guys were saying was kind of like on it.
okay, and like I said, I'm gonna post this video so you know any points that you didn't hear, you can just kind of go ahead and play it back. I am looking at the time. I'm sorry that we kind of went over today. It's we have some people join a little bit later, so that's why I kind of went over. I do have another class literally starting in about a minute. So I wanted to kind of end there. Delania had mentioned how yes, his argument does make sense just because it related to so many things going on within that time, and his evidences that he talks about really relates to his claim. It really ties in together well, and it makes logical sense. It's understandable and it's straightforward. All right, so guys, what you're going to do for me today, what you have to do, and that's the only thing you have to do, is I need you to please go back to this document, and I need you to read 7, 8, and 9. That's it. Only reading 7, 8, and 9. Please, when I say read it, I don't mean sleep and do nothing. You have between today and tomorrow when we have class for you to do that, please. Okay, it is just a simple reading. The reason why I'm asking you to do that is we're going to come back. We are not going to go by individual paragraphs. We're going to put everything together. That's why I said it's important for you to read it first, to kind of look at it first before we talk about it then together. Okay, so read, because I'm not going to post this. I'll post it in the stream to remind you. But all you are doing is reading 7, 8, and 9. That's it. 7, 8, and 9. Okay. Yes, you are only reading
Okay.
7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
7, 8, and 9. All right. I do have to jump off. Like I said, I have to open it up again for the other class. Do you have any questions on what you're doing today?
Oh, we good.
No? Okay, good. And I am going to post, these questions that we just talked about under the material. So you can go back and always look at these questions to remember what we did in paragraph 6, okay?
Yeah.
All right. All right, everybody, I'm sorry that we took longer. I hope everybody feels a little bit better. Also, I do have quick announcements before we go. I'm hoping that nobody else from the other class logs in, because it might confuse them. But quick announcements. First of all, remember I talked a lot about assignments last time. I was happy to see that majority of us submitted our assignments. When I give your, I'm still grading, just like I told you that grading is going to take a little bit since we handed it in on Sunday. So hopefully by Thursday, you should receive all your grades for all those assignments. You will have a new set of assignments again to do this week. So please make sure you're keeping on track with them. When it comes to assignments, I told you that Friday is going to be our deadline moving forward. The reason why is because that is when our office hours are, right? So that you can talk to us and ask us questions up until Friday. Because during the weekend, we might not be available because we're grading, we're planning, and all that. So Friday is going to be the next due date for your next assignments that you will get on Wednesday and Thursday. You only have 2 assignments, so it shouldn't be difficult this week. This week you only have 2 assignments. Also too as well, I have left notes on some of the stuff I have graded. Please know that once there's a grade, you cannot do it again, except I personally tell you to do it.
Okay.
There's also an extra credit assignment. If you don't like your total grade, there's an extra credit assignment, which is the quick write, okay? Quick write lesson 4, that's your extra credit assignment. If you don't like all your grades so far, that can replace an assignment for you.
Question, teacher.
Yes,
The due date is over.
yes. So
Okay.
all the assignments already are done. The extra credit assignment you can still do.
Okay.
Okay, the extra credit assignment is open. Okay, I have another person joining. Like I said, I do have to start my second class, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.